Okay, this is something in video 28 that I left out. I'm not going to call it video 29, we'll call it 28B because it's on the same topic. It's this idea when the leader sort of teaches something new that supposedly they've got from God, or somebody else teaches something that they don't like and it causes division, it creates this split, and it feeds into narcissistic feed. So it's like, who do you choose? Do you choose leader A or leader B? You know, it's like a competition. And what I noticed when ICC split with RCW, there was a lot of venomosity between the leaders. The leader in London, you know, he threatened people with hell, you know, for people who literally he'd been friends with a month before. And then there was this split, and then they're damning each other to hell. You know, even though Mike Patterson in a recent sermon said, oh no, we think there's some saved people, you know, in the ICC kind of thing. But it's all about control. And the thing is, what I left out in video 28 was this idea of, if it's almost like people, when they follow the leader, it's almost like confirming to the leader that they're right and the other person's wrong. It's a massive ego trip, and it just makes them more and more controlling, you know, and it's like, if you follow the other guy, then you're not my friend anymore, you know. So even though they might split and they might lose lots of people, they'll still boast and brag that they won the victory. You know, and one thing that Mike Patterson said in his video, I think this week, it's on his Facebook. So you have to go to his Facebook, and then, because it's an unlisted video, no wonder. But it's quite interesting what he said. It's like, oh, the old church, they're not growing. We're growing. That shows God is with us, you know. And they always have this massive insecurity that God is not with them, you know. And when you follow them and when you agree with them, oh, you're best friends, you know. So it's always about control, and it's always about narcissistic feed, and it's always about winning the numbers. And with ICC, Kit McKean type cults, it's all about growth. If Church A is growing quicker than Church B, then Church A is from God and Church B is less godly. So there must be sin, you know. And it's such an ego thing. You know, it really is what is known as sort of confirmation bias as well. If people agree with me, therefore I'm right, therefore I'm from God, you know, kind of thing. And this is what I referenced this scripture, 3 John verse 9 and 10. So it's quite an interesting dynamic in cults. Because people follow me, therefore I'm right, therefore I'm from God, you know. And if somebody disagrees, they're from the devil, people aren't following. So it can become very venomous and very egocentric, which is one characteristic of cult leaders. You know, they can never admit that they were wrong. You know, it's a bizarre one. And if they, you know, it's a strange dynamic, but it becomes all about the leader. You know, cult, a focus on the leader, because the leaders pretend to speak from God. They'll always say it's always about God, but in reality it's always about them. So there you go, this is part B. Not worth doing video 29, so 28.B.